Hey guys, I'm here today to record a league with standard black-white control. I used to play the deck a lot back around like right after Oath of the Gatewatch came out, and it was pretty strong. Back then, you could play Read the Bones and Languish. It was a lot different, and I haven't played much standard since then. I don't actually know if it's even like a deck that people play, but I figured I'd kind of throw something together that looks a little bit like what I used to play back in the day and see what happens. So I guess let's walk through the deck real quick and then we'll get down to the league. For lands, I have 26 lands first of all. Some people play 25, but I just like being a little bit more conservative with my mana count, with my land count. Yeah, always able to hit the land drops is huge in a deck like this. Specific choices for Shambling Vent, obviously it's the best man land, or the best dual land since it's a man land, and then we have 4 Concealed Courtyards. I have 4 Ether Hubs. I don't know if that's correct. I kind of like them. Obviously they're, more or less a one-time use in this deck. We have one way to fire it up with Live Fast, but I still kind of like them as insurance because they come into play untapped late game, which is really big when you're trying to get that Sorin off, etc. Then I have 1 Evolving Wilds as my, 9th or 12th, I guess, quote-unquote dual land. It also, the reason I'm playing this over the black-white that always comes into play tapped, I'm just trying it out to see if it's good with Fatal Push. It's, how often are you going to draw the 1 of and the 2 of, but I figured I'd give it a try. It could be incorrect. And then I have 1 Blighted Fen for my value land. I've just always been a huge fan of this card, and it kills that Bristling Hydra, and that guy is just really tough to deal with otherwise. So I put a lot of thought into that Bristling Hydra. Then we have just 7 Swamps, 5 Plains. At the 1 drop, we have just 2 Fatal Pushes. I don't know how good Fatal Push is in Standard. Obviously, it's good against Mardu vehicles, and has its applications elsewhere, but I feel like it's not nearly as good as it is in Modern, obviously because they have the fetches, so I'm only on 2 main deck, but that could be totally wrong. I have no idea. Then I have 4 Grasp, which I think is basically the best removal spell in the format, save for maybe the Harness Lightning, the energy one obviously, and then I have 3 Blessed Alliance because it's a good way of dealing with that Hydra, and it can kind of be turned into a removal spell, a nearly targetable removal spell anyway, since we have so much other removal to kill, whatever targets we don't want this to affect. And then I have 3 Transgress in the main deck. I'm a pretty big fan of hand disruption in this type of deck in Standard, so I often have more of this effect than most. Right now I only have 3. I've used to play, I think, either 3 of these and 2 Duress, or maybe the other way around back in the day, but I had 5 effects back then. And I could see going up to the 4th, but right now I just have 3. But I'm a big fan of Transgress. At the 3 drop, we have, for removal, we have 2 Never to Returns, which is a good way to remove Planeswalkers, and obviously has some application with, hitting a Glimmer or whatever out of the graveyard, and kind of can act as a win condition, combined with like Shambling Vent beats and whatnot. 1 Unmaking to take out monuments and Planeswalkers and gods and whatever else. I have 1 Oath of Liliana as another hedge to that Bristling Hydra, and I kind of just like the concept of casting Gideon right after. We have 3 card drawing spells, 2 of which operate at instant speed, a little bit more difficult to cast, and 1 of which fires up our Ether Hub. And then I have 2 Lilianas as win conditions and ways to pick off little, tokens off of the monument and, creatures here and there. At the 4 drop, 2 Cast Out as a nice catch-all removal spell. In a pinch, you can cycle it. 2 Yahenni's Expertise, which is great against that monument deck and also has a really good synergy with all of these. And then I have 2 Gideons. It used to be 4 Gideons, but I sold them and I didn't really feel like buying a whole 4 again since he'll rotate soon and whatever, so I just bought 2, which could be totally wrong, but we're going to give it a try. And then I have 1 Gonti. He's a nice hedge against control and against kind of more mid-range and decks with bigger, nice targets for us. 2 Fumigates just to go with 4 Sweepers in the main deck, and then to round out the win cons, we have 2 Ob Nixilis and 2 Sorin. In the sideboard slot, I basically have 3 more ways to deal with that Bristling Hydra to bring it against the Rug Energy and whatnot. We have an Oath of Liliana, another one. We have the 4th Blessed Alliance, and then we have another Blighted Fen. In a pinch, I'll also bring the Blighted Fen in against Control, because I probably want 27 land drops in those matches to even be even more guaranteed to hit the drops. Also, coming in against Control, I'll be bringing in 3 Gaunties, 2 Cast Outs, and the last Transgress, and another Live Fast, just because these are better than like Grasp. They hit more targets, we can cycle them in a pinch, etc. And then these kind of speak for themselves. We also have another Fatal Push, just in case the 2 is incorrect in the main deck. And then I have a couple more Sweepers, especially Flaying Tendrils, which is great against that Monument deck. And then another Fumigate as the big sweeper for like green, black, and whatnot. So yeah, let's try out a league and see how it goes.